WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed, Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw, with their newly expanded showroom and now offering countertops in quartz, in granite, and in porcelain. So stop in. Everything you need for home decorating, you'll find it at Westside Decorating Center. Later on this hour, Craig Goslin from the Saginaw Spirit is going to join us at 10 o'clock this morning. Jeremy Lowell from the Bay County Gypsy Moth Suppression Program will be here. 11 o'clock, Habitat for Humanity. We'll have open phones as time permits. But we're going to begin this hour saying good morning to the city manager of the city of Frankenmuth. And we say good morning to Bridget and Bridget Smith. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So the weather's turning. Not that that's ever had any impact on Frankenmuth, but got to believe that this gets ready for a rather busy influx of tourists to that town.
It is. Spring is here. Our crews are out working downtown and getting things ready for spring and summer. We just finished up with Easter and working now on getting things mulched and planted and ready for our peak season.
Pots watered, hanging from the poles. Are they up yet?
Not yet.
A little early for those. Huh?
Yes, but they're in the greenhouse. So those were planted about a month ago.
So, how does a town like Frankenmuth, which is probably population what, 6,000,
5,000.
5,000 people live in the city of Frankenmuth, and how many people invade the town every day in the summer months, particularly? Tens of thousands, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Easily, we become a town of 30 to 50,000.
How does a town of 5,000 do that?
Very skillfully. So,
love that. Great answer.
Thank you. Actually, one of the things that happened in the 1990s that was a huge burden for the city was we had just expanded our waste treatment plant for the Heilman Brewery, and then they left.
Yeah,
a couple of years later. But that expansion really allows us to serve the thousands of guests now that we have staying overnight. So our waste treatment plant provides, capacity for a town easily of 10 to 15,000. So that works well for us.
And you mentioned hotel rooms. Over the years, the town has expanded its hospitality industry and continues to do so.
Yeah. Funny enough, we learned that in the 1980s, we did not nearly have enough hotel rooms based on our demand. And so we had upwards of 30 plus bed and breakfasts operating in the city. And then as our hotel industry expanded, those kind of waned.
So now it's more based on the traditional hospitality, traditional hotel.
Yes, we have a lot of demand for short-term rentals, but we have a very specific ordinance in the city that limits where they can go as a way to protect our residential space.
And the folks at the Bavarian Inn Lodge, of course, are expanding the water park concept into the city.
Yes.
So a city of 5,000 people will now have two big water parks, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. And that project that's a major project, isn't it?
Yeah, nearly $80 million and well underway. One of the things that I think is so fascinating and wonderful about the Zender family is they've built the construction into their hospitality delivery. So when you go to the Bavarian Inn Lodge as a guest, you can actually go to like a viewing platform and see the construction that's happening on your way to the swimming pools.
That's what hospitality is all about.
Yeah.
It is. So let's talk about the operation of the city. Let's start with budget. How are we doing?
Good. We have our budget hearing in May, and City Council likes to present a balanced budget. We have some big street projects that we're looking at, local streets. So we'll have to save up over 2 fiscal years to do our next big project. But everything else is pretty much on schedule. We have some recurring higher costs in street trees. So Frankenmuth is a tree city, has been a tree city for nearly 40 years. We say we have a tree for every man, woman, and child living in the city, and we do. We have well over 5,000 trees planted between the street and the sidewalk, and then in our parks. But those are aging, and so they take a little bit more to take care of.
You replace them, or you just take care of them?
Both. We actually have an event April 29th. We've partnered with Relief of Michigan and the Gleaners of Frankenmuth. There's a neighborhood in the city, Sunburst neighborhood, and we had to remove, in partnership with consumers, 32 trees that were growing into a distribution line. And we could not have afforded to replant 32 trees in 1 year. So we're partnering with Relief and the Gleaners, and we'll plant those trees on the 29th.
I don't assume you put them in the same place, though, since otherwise you'd be
No.
doing it all over again when they grew up.
Yeah, and we're selecting a slower growing, lower canopy tree when they're directly under the power lines.
Yeah, but it's probably a smart thing to do. The other thing, ARPA money, do you have any left?
We do. We have.
You still have some?
Yes. Well, and I say that we started with $588,000.
You didn't have a lot, did you?
No, and I feel embarrassed to say that $500,000 is not a lot of money, but comparatively,
oh yeah, not a lot of money.
So we spent $100,000. If you're familiar with Harvey Kern Pavilion, it's the big event space. So we had a leaky roof that had plagued us there for several years. So the city partnered with the Downtown Development Authority to make those repairs. So we spent $100,000 there. City Council is focusing on maximizing those dollars. So we want to look at those dollars like grant money and find ways to bring other money to the table to do projects really that focus on more quality of life sort of things.
All right, hang on, Bridget. I got to take a quick break here, and we'll be back. One more segment with Bridget Smith. She is the city manager of the city of Frankenmuth. Let me take a moment to talk to you about my friends at McDonald Ford in Freeland. And I say my friends because they have been. When I moved here in 1974 from the New York City area, one of the first people I met was Tom McDonald Sr., the patriarch of the family. And since that time, I've become friends with Tom Jr. and Tommy III, who are the owners of McDonald Ford in Freeland. That's where I've bought my last several cars, to say the least. And you should think about them too. Now, yeah, they're a Ford dealer. It says McDonald Ford right in the name, but they carry lots of other brands in their pre-owned lot. A lot of late model cars and trucks. As a matter of fact, I imagine on that lot, you could find almost anything to satisfy your needs. And they've all been through a 100-point inspection process, so you can drive away with confidence. But if you have a problem, no fret, because McDonald Ford has an outstanding service department for both minor and major repairs. They also have on their property the Drive Collision Center for body repairs. And they have the Quick Lane Center for your routine service, oil changes, and the like. So give it consideration when you're thinking of another vehicle. Think about McDonald Ford 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. It's a family-run business. They'd love you to be a member of their family of customers. They're out to serve your automotive needs. Stop in, visit them today. McDonald Ford in Freeland.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Visa will be partnering with PayPal to start a new service to help you move money between different payment apps. The new program, Visa Plus, will allow Venmo and PayPal users in the U.S. to transfer money. Other Visa partners, including Western Union, are also expected to integrate Visa Plus, and the company says Visa Plus users will not need to have a Visa card. Small business owners say they're feeling the impact of banking turmoil. The National Federation of Independent Business says its small business optimism index declined in March from February. Warren Buffett is planning to increase investments in Japan's biggest trading houses. Buffett told reporters in Japan that he's been pleased with his investments so far. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
A good work partner knows what you need before you need it. That's how it feels when you work with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps get to know your business and have the industry knowledge that can help you prepare for what's ahead. They'll deliver your team's workwear freshly laundered. Make sure your first aid and safety supplies, mats, mops, and towels are stocked when you need them. And your fire extinguishers are inspected and in working order. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
Time now to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. Word this hour is Pirates, as in the Pittsburgh Pirates, Pirates. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw on WSGW. And we're back with you, and we're chatting with Bridget Smith, city manager of the city of Frankenmuth. You mentioned, Bridget, streets. If you were to evaluate the city streets in Frankenmuth, how are you doing with them?
Well, it's funny you ask that. So this year, for the very first time in our history, we actually developed an asset management plan. So we go through just for streets. So we went through and rated every single street and estimated the remaining useful life. Looked at things like quality of the surface, drainage, the difference between the curb gutter pan and the pavement next to it, like how big of a difference there is, just from things like trash trucks and wear and tear. So we easily could spend an additional $200,000 to $300,000 a year on streets and not catch up for 5 to 7 years. And that would just get us in a routine of doing one street a year. So streets by far are the biggest challenge.
And the state money, not much of it coming through on that, is there?
Yeah, so yes, and it's divvied into two pots. So we have money allocated for major streets, which are more business oriented for the most part. And then the funding for local streets is what is low. To get any construction done on local streets, the city has to transfer money from major streets and contribute an additional couple $100,000 a year just to do construction.
The other thing too, Main Street, I can remember when it switched over to 3 lanes and you had a center turn lane. That didn't work out. Back to 4 lanes again. Is it going to stay 4 lanes now? I mean, is that the future of that street? Yeah, we've partnered with the Michigan Department of Transportation, looking at different asset management improvements on Main Street. And in theory, we've been told that the 3-lane scenario would work, but it doesn't work on peak weekends. Yeah. And our peak weekends, our busiest time is growing. And so now, like, our busy season pretty much runs from July through the new year. And we would end up with like a level of failure for those traffic signals. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't ways to improve. But, I've been in town when there's been major events, and it's like a parking lot. It reminds me of the Long Island Expressway in New York. I mean, you don't move. You just sit there, and that's with 4 lanes. I can't imagine what it was like with 3. I remember, but it was rough. So one of the things that the Downtown Development Authority and the Convention and Visitors Bureau is doing is partnering with STARS Transit to run a looping shuttle to help encourage people to park once and then, use the shuttle and walk. We're just kind of lazy. Nobody wants to walk more than like 1,500 feet. But it's a walkable city. I mean, that's what people do in that town. Yes. Yes, it is very walkable. Yeah, truly is. And the other thing too is the locals know their way around the back roads. Yes. That's critical. That's critical. Yeah. And locals will tell visitors that the easiest way to see Frankenmuth is on foot. You can pretty much park anywhere and get to where you want to be within 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, no, it's actually a good city to walk. If you're a walker, it's ideal. I mean, it's perfect. Perfect. The other question I have about Frankenmuth is policing, because any town of 5,000 that gets tens of thousands on any given weekend has to have policing concerns. How do you do it?
Well, we have a great group of officers, and then we also have a strong reserve program.
That's the key, really, isn't it?
Yes. And I would also add in our fire department supplements on these special event weekends by helping us provide medical first responder. And they actually even, our fire department calls in and requests like planned mutual aid from other communities. And so for AutoFest weekend, Birch Run and Bridgeport will come and help us manage the street closures. It really is a collaborative effort.
What is the biggest festival in Frankenmuth? Which one draws the most people?
I would say probably AutoFest.
That's what I would think too. Yeah, that's amazing. If you think that driving down Main Street is tough, try walking down Main Street during AutoFest. It is amazing. So let's finish up by telling us what's immediately ahead in Frankenmuth. What's doing?
Well, we were recently awarded a grant through John Molinar's office, a congressional project grant, to construct a river walk on the Heritage Park side of the river. So that will connect Heritage Park through River Place to Main Street.
Be another bridge?
Yeah, under the bridges.
Under the bridges, okay.
So we're very excited about that. It's federal money, which is wonderful but complicated. So construction will probably start next year.
Yeah, they don't want to tell you what to do or anything, do they?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right. Well, Bridget, listen, it is always a pleasure. And see you in Frankenmuth one of these days. We get over there.
We can't wait.
All right. Talk to you then. Take care.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye now. Bridget Smith, she is the city manager of the city of Frankenmuth. We thank her for spending some time with us this morning. We're going to take a break. When we return this morning, Craig Goslin going to be with us to talk about the Saginaw Spirit.
Liven up the look of your home this summer with the help of Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. Hi, this is Marianne, and nothing brightens up the interior look of your home more than beautiful new flooring. And right now we have all the most popular styles and colors of carpet, as well as wood and tile with beautiful patterns with a very natural look. Warden Interiors also does custom laminate and solid surface countertops, including the Cambria Quartz solid surface and Corian that everyone is talking about. Even new window fashions will give your home a breath of fresh style for summer. We have all the new Hunter Douglas window treatments that help keep the harsh sun rays and heat outside where they belong. Warden Interiors features Duet Arcatella shades with the best UV protection in the industry. There are so many ways our expert design team can make your home into a showplace. It is a breeze to refresh, rejuvenate on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/bed. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/bed.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Tom Sullivan. On my third Tesla, I love the car, but I never have bought one of them for the tax credit, but I keep getting tax credits. Do you think the car dealer is going to jack up the price by $4,000 so that you can get $4,000 off this price? Isn't this great? That's for a used electric vehicle, and a new one, if it's assembled in the United States, $7,500 credit. I don't know why they're giving these credits. You know the car dealer is going to jack up the price. Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on WSGW.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Welcome back here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show for this Tuesday, the day after something happened at the Dow Event Center last night. There seemed to be a lot of excitement going on. Craig Goslin, what happened last night at the Dow Event Center?
Well, Art, I got to tell you something. That was electric. The word is electric. What happened at the Dow last night is we won Game 7 against Flint. What an amazing, the people that were there last night and the experience that he had and the energy that they.
It was interesting because he had a 3-1 lead, and then all of a sudden it was 3-3, and shades of the last game in Flint. And boy, the boys came alive. They took care of business. Yeah, I hope he gets a contract someplace.
And he and Matthias Sapovalov and Dean Locus and the guys, they all played so well down the stretch and ended up 6-3. And you know what, on to the next round. And but I got to say something about Flint too. That team is really, really talented.
They are.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people who said this is going to be a 7-game series. They were right.
No question.
I mean, I thought 5, but I was wrong. I mean, it's 7, and look at all the overtime games. How closely matched could you find two teams?
Yeah, well, we've had we had 3 overtime games, and really of the 7 games, 6 of them could have gone to overtime.
Yeah,
and incredible. I think that was part of the energy that was in the building, because I think everybody there saw how closely matched these teams were, and this series was gonna turn on a turnover or a great play, and good for everybody. It turned on in a great play by Mitchell Smith, Jane Perek, and Matthias Sapovalov. Incredible.
I also like after the game, they line up for the traditional handshake.
Yeah.
And, for all the yelling and screaming at the players on the other side for their roughness and all that stuff, the guys that, probably had the most animosity on the ice there, they were embracing each other, shaking hands.
Well, that's what they got to do. I mean, that's their game is, and sometimes the fans don't understand it, but it's a component of the game is intimidation.
Right.
And they did that to us because they're an older team. And good for us. Our kids learn through this. This is a great learning experience for our kids.
It was.
We're the youngest team in the league, Art, and this was what's so cool about what's going on here with the Memorial Cup coming. One of the reasons we got the Memorial Cup is because of the quality of our team, and they're really young. We're going to have this group together for the next 2 to 3 years, and the foundation was built by Mitchell Smith and Tristan Lennox. They won't be here, but they will be here because of the fact that they helped build this foundation. So yeah, it's going to be exciting down the stretch here with Sarnia and onward to the Memorial Cup next year.
And who's the third overager?
Theo Hill.
Theo Hill was overager.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
We got 21 coming back.
Yes.
Theory.
Yeah, we do. And actually, we've got a loaded draft grid, and we got players that were in our camp last year that will be competing for places on the roster spots on this team.
Yeah.
Next fall.
Well, and it would seem to me the play of this team will attract other players who will want to come to Saginaw.
Well, that's wonderful things. Dave Drenko, our general manager, Brian Prouder, assistant GM, their scouting staff. At the end of the day, Art, in sports, you've been around all your life. It's about scouting. You got to have great players to win championships. Right now, we've got Ken Hollins always told me you got to have 4 elite players to win a championship. We've got 4. All right.
Yeah,
at
least.
Well, with Sapovalov, Haight, Misa, and Perek coming back next year.
Right.
And Andrew Roque, you can throw him in there too. He was on the World Junior
That's
team
right.
last year. We have 5.
He'll be the number one.
Yeah.
goalie.
So everything lines up for us. So what's happening is the agents are contacting Dave Drenko and saying, Dave, hey, we got a player here. We think we'd like to have you come to Saginaw. We got this elite kid that's playing somewhere, and we let him. So yeah, we're Dave's going to have his choices exactly how he wants to mold this roster, and it's going to be fun down.
The problem is this year, unlike last year where you picked first, you picked like 16th this year. So a lot of that elite talent that you'd love to have on your roster is going to go bye-bye.
Well,
but it's deep enough that you'll still get some good players.
He got Zane Perek at 19 last year.
That's what I mean.
All right. So no, Dave Drenkel's got an incredible eye, amazing. And Brian Prout does too. Our scouting staff, we have 7 scouts that are out there in the market doing their thing in Ontario, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, throughout the Midwest. And they work hard, and it shows on the ice last night.
As a side note to scouting, you and I both had time with Chris Draper yesterday.
We did.
Red Wings.
Yep.
And he was up for the Great Lakes Bay Economic Club, which, by the way, not bad on the MC duties.
Well, I'm learning from you. I'm learning from you, Art. I got a good teacher. No, but Drapes is doing a great job with the Red Wings. He's their director of amateur scouting. He actually drafted Amadeus Lombardi.
That kid's good.
Yeah, and they got him in the 4th round. I mean, so it shows you they Drapes. And
he's going to be good for the Red Wings.
Wow.
He can sniff out a goal.
Yeah,
and he's got speed.
No, he's a top 6.
Impressive to watch.
We've been at this 21 years. That's a top 6 NHL forward right there, and so is Sapovalov, and then so is Misa and Perek for that matter too. So there's a lot of top talent on the ice last night from Clinton and Saginaw.
All right, so we'll take a break. Come back. We'll talk a little bit about the Memorial Cup, also what's ahead this year before we get to next year. All of that coming up.
See what all the buzz is about, and you could win up to $5,000 cash. It's High Five every Saturday in April at Saginaw Eagles Landing. There are hourly drawings each week from 5 to 9 p.m. for the chance to go High Five and win up to $500. Then at 10 p.m., find the Queen Bee to win up to $5,000 cash. So be there for High Five at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
Get your outdoor projects done right with Menards. We have the largest selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber anywhere. Now's the perfect time to get your backyard project done. We've made it convenient for you to pick up in our drive-through lumber yard. An 8-foot pressure-treated 1x4 is just $398 after 11% rebate. Good through April 16th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
And we're back with you in the studio here at WSGW with Craig Goslin, President Managing Partner of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club, the first round winning Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club, which means it's on to the second round. And as is usually the case in these kinds of tournaments, the teams don't get easier as you go. Nope. And you're about to face a tough test in Sarnia.
Sarnia is loaded. They've loaded up at the trade deadline, and they've got 9 players that are NHL drafted. Number of them that are signed. So yeah, this is a loaded roster, a veteran roster. So another great test for our young kids.
But you know, when you think about it, this series, these couple of series, could not have been better for Saginaw. Our two closest rivals.
Yep.
People can travel back and forth.
Yeah.
And fill up the seats.
It's a dream come true.
In many ways.
Yeah.
In many ways for a franchise, it is. So what's the schedule now for round 2?
Yeah, Sarnia fans will travel well as well. Not quite as well as Flint, but so we start there this Friday. So they've got home ice advantage.
They have home ice advantage. They were third, we were fourth.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So now we start there this Friday. This Friday night. So we play Friday, Sunday in Sarnia, and then we come back home next Tuesday. So next Tuesday we need to rock the Dow again, and get your tickets at SaginawSpirit.com. The best way to do it, and download Ticketmaster on your mobile devices.
And don't wait.
Yeah, don't wait. Yeah,
will sell.
Yeah, it's going to sell, and I don't know if we'll get sold out, Art, because of there was every game in Saginaw there was about 1,000 Flint Firebird fans coming up. So I don't think we'll get 1,000 from Sarnia, but there's tickets available. But you're going to want to definitely get on that quickly, and then of course we play again on Thursday.
Those are guaranteed games because that's the first 4 games.
Yes, yeah. I think this will be a long series as well. I think that you're going to see the Guelph Storm just took the Sarnia Sting to 6 games, and they found the magic sauce to compete with this real talented team. And our coaching staff, led by Chris Lazary, definitely will be looking into what that secret sauce would be to compete with the Sarnia Sting. So our kids are massively talented, and again, we're the youngest team in the league with probably the most talent of the 60 teams in the league. We're just really young.
We were talking about this during the break because there's always surprises in the Memorial Cup. I mean, there's always a surprise. And to me, the biggest surprise, the number 1 seed Windsor gets taken out by the number 8 seed Kitchener.
Yeah.
First, that rarely ever happens that
Yeah.
an 8 beats a 1.
Yeah.
But Windsor was loaded up. I
Yes,
mean,
they did.
And
Yeah.
they didn't even win a game.
Windsor used their entire draft grid to get Shane Wright and Brett Harrison and Jacob Holmes from Sudbury. Their draft grid is pretty much decimated now, and it's going to be a tough rebuild for the Windsor Spitfires. But they'll do it. They got great people down there. But and they're in our division too. So that's we play them 6 times next year. So it doesn't really break my heart.
Yeah.
I love the owners.
Probably doesn't break your heart they're not in the series anymore either. You don't have to play them.
No, that's for sure. They're a great team, great franchise.
So the Memorial Cup, let's chat about that a little bit. For those that don't follow hockey, don't know about it, what does the Memorial Cup mean to Saginaw?
It's incredible, Art. It's so humbling to think about the number of people, you included, that have come together to help us to land the Memorial Cup as the host. There's your listeners, I think, understand that there's 3 leagues: the Quebec League, the Ontario Hockey League, and the Western League, and they all play for a championship in their leagues for the whole season. Those champions play in the Memorial Cup, and then there's a host team. In 2024, the Saginaw Spirit has been selected as the host team for the Memorial Cup. It means more than just hockey. It's about the economic impact that it makes on our community. It's about illustrating to an international TV audience the great things that we've got here in the Great Lakes Bay region, all the way from the Great Lakes Loons to the Bay City Riverfront, to all the things that we've got here in Saginaw, Riverfront Saginaw. So we're going to be showcasing all that along with Frankenmuth. The teams are going to be housed in Frankenmuth. For us, it's a chance to show on an international stage what the Great Lakes Bay region is really all about, and it's awesome. We got great people here.
And I've asked this question of you before, and I asked it of Dave McKenzie, the president of CHL, Dan McKenzie, about what happens if the host team wins their league,
which is potentially possible next year.
That's what Dave Drinkle said. We expect to. Then what happens?
Well, what happens then is the team that we play against in the OHL Championship, the Robertson Cup, it's called, will be the other team that participates in the Memorial Cup.
They'll be invited. They'll be the fourth.
Yeah, they'll be the 4th team. Yeah. So that's how it works. And this year it's in Kamloops, British Columbia. Here coming up in a few weeks, and who knows, we might be in that as well. The team keeps playing the way they're doing. That wouldn't surprise me. Actually, I believe in these kids, and I know it's one game at a time.
Possible.
Yeah, one game at a time. Like I say, Windsor got knocked out, and we can knock out Sarnia and see what goes from there. It's nothing would surprise me with this young group of talented kids. They're so talented.
Oh, Mr. McKenzie, while we were upstairs when he was in town to make the announcement about the Memorial Cup, I was standing next to him, and he said to me, "All right, give me your predictions. Who's going to win the OHL? And who's going to win the Western and the Eastern, right?" And I said, "Windsor." What did I know?
There you go. That's right. Hey, you never know. That's probably what I'd picked as well. I mean, they were loaded up with amazing talent. It just shows to show you they got to play the games on the ice. On paper they don't. They all look good, but they play the games on the ice.
Also, I think it's important to tell the taxpayers of the region there's going to be millions of dollars in improvements at the Dow, but no additional millages or taxes for it.
No.
There's still money left over in the original millage.
Yes.
Plus some fundraising that the county's going to be doing.
Yeah, part of those people that made this hosting of the Memorial Cup possible is Robert Bellerman, our county controller, and Chris Boyd, the chairman of the board of the county commissioners. Those 2 guys were incredible, and all the county commissioners. All right, and the money from the last millage is left over to do continued improvements of the Dow Event Center, and we're able to use that money to bring the building up to the standard of the CHL in order to host a Memorial Cup. They got to have certain standards that are met. The building didn't meet those standards. We identified what they were. We showed that to the site selection committee. We had them sign letters. The county commissioners had all signed a letter that we will do this work if you allow us to host. And today at 1:00, we're having our first meeting, a construction meeting with Spence Brothers to start looking at exactly
they've been working on the plan.
Yeah, from A to Z. How do we get this done in time? Because we got to have it all done by October for the most part.
And they really can't start until the playoffs are done.
I hope we don't start till June. This
That's
guy's
right.
really got a problem on our hands.
That's what I mean.
I got faith in Spence Brothers. Those guys can get it done, and Greg Bader too from Kibbe and Associates. You guys they've worked so hard on all this, and we're grateful to so many people. I can sit here and listen to this. There's 60 people that I've put a list together of everybody that helped us win to host this bid. And I know that people come up to me and say, "Congratulations, great job." You know what? There's 59 other people on that list that did every bit as much as I did to win this thing. So I'm humbled. No, it's true.
I saw your work.
Well, I worked hard, but you know what? That's what I do, though. Art.
I saw the book you put together.
It's what I do, but you know what, Art? If I didn't have all the other oars in the water rowing in the same direction, is what we had there. We had all of us saying, "Let's do this. Let's do it this way. Let's not do that. Let's do this." And it worked out perfect. We couldn't have had a better job.
All right, so games 3 and 4 against Sarnia, Tuesday, Thursday here in Saginaw. Tickets are on sale now.
Yes, tickets are on sale this morning. Yes, Lindsay McDougall's working on that this morning. So we'll have game 3, which is next Tuesday, a week from today, and then game 4 is going to be Thursday. So yeah, it's get your tickets and come on. Let's rock the Dow again and
all right,
and spur these kids on to victory. They can do this.
My feet will be planted right next to Dick Garber. It works.
Just so your listeners know, Dick's a bit superstitious, and Art's been standing right next to him for every win, and that's gonna continue for a long time, I'm sure.
All right, we'll talk to you. Thanks
all right,
a
thanks,
lot.
Art.
All right, we'll be back to close out this hour.
Let the sun shine in with new window coverings. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating Center. We offer a variety of soft shades and blinds that protect against damaging UV rays without disrupting your view. Ask about our slumber shades if you prefer a complete room darkening experience. Call our experts for a personal consultation at 989-793-6182 or visit our newly remodeled showroom, Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
All right, that does it for the first hour of the Art Lewis Show. News coming up next, and then we'll be back.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. The International Monetary Fund is downgrading its outlook for the global economy amid inflation and worries about banks. CBS's Vicki Barker.
Not technically in recession, but the IMF says persistent inflation, persistently rising interest rates, and nervousness over the recent U.S. bank collapses are all putting the brakes on global growth.
This year's slowdown is concentrated in advanced economies, where growth is expected to fall to 1.3% this year before increasing modestly next year.
The IMF's Pierre-Olivier Gorincha. The risk of recession has risen sharply, but the IMF puts the risk of a global banking crisis at a modest 15%. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
A court date has been set for a Wall Street Journal reporter detained in Russia. CBS's Cami McCormick with more.
The Biden administration has now formally determined that Evan Gershkovich was wrongfully detained. That elevates his case for the administration. He was detained for what Russia calls spying, the first correspondent since the Cold War to be detained on that charge. A Moscow court will consider his appeal on April 18th.
A plea for gun control from the mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg, a day after 5 people were killed and at least 9 injured in a mass shooting at a bank there. He tells CBS Mornings,
we need help from Congress to pass legislation that can give us more tools and ability to try to prevent acts like yesterday from never happening again in Louisville, in Nashville, or any city in America.
One of 2 Democrats expelled from the Tennessee State House by the Republican majority over a demonstration against gun violence may get his seat back tomorrow. CBS's Mark Strassman spoke with Justin Pearson.
Why is it important for them to appoint you, not for you, but as a message?
It is important that we send a clear message that the people in District 86 representation matters, and that this illegitimate disenfranchisement of their vote and of their choice is wrong.
President Biden is on the way to Northern Ireland. CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
The first Irish Catholic president since John F. Kennedy, Joe Biden will spend much of his time on this island visiting the counties where his ancestors were born. But first, a speech here in Belfast marking the 25th anniversary of the peace deal that ended decades of violence between Catholics and Protestants.
A graphic novel based on the diary of Anne Frank has been removed from a Florida high school. The leader of a conservative advocacy group challenged it, saying it minimized the Holocaust. The Jewish teen's diary was published in 1947, several years after she died in a concentration camp. It has become a classic and has been read by millions. This is CBS News.
Streamline how you hire with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
When I grow up, I want to be a race car driver.
My mom says I could be an astronaut.
Someday, I'm going to be turned into sugar and made into the world's stickiest, sweetest lollipop ever.
Provosol fungicide from BASF helps every sugar beet live up to its fullest potential. Advanced disease control means you get enhanced Cercospora leaf spot protection and more recoverable sucrose. Help your sugar beets achieve their dreams and maximize your yield potential with Provosol fungicide. Always read and follow label directions.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 61 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Jonathan Dent. All U.S. and state of Michigan flags at the state capitol complex and public buildings will be lowered to half-staff today in remembrance of U.S. Army soldier Braden Robert Peltier. A Bay City native, Peltier was killed in Colorado on March 26th at the age of 23. His remains were brought back to Michigan on Thursday, and a funeral is scheduled for today. Governor Whitmer says that by lowering the flags, Michigan honors his service and his family. Flags will return to full staff tomorrow. Government safety investigators are looking into another crash that have involved Tesla's advanced driver assistance systems. Michigan News Network Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert reports.
In this case, a 17-year-old North Carolina high school student was struck getting off a school bus, the Tesla Model Y not stopping, even though the bus was stopped with its lights flashing. The student is hospitalized in good condition. As federal investigators look into this and similar crashes, they stress the driver is always responsible for operation of the vehicle and needs to stay engaged. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
Summer course registration at Mid-Michigan College is now open. In-person and online classes for the summer semester at Mid-Michigan begins on May 22nd. Adults over 25 are encouraged to enroll and take advantage of the Michigan Reconnect Scholarship Program. Qualifying residents can go to college tuition-free. Future Mid students can apply at midmich.edu/apply. If you're already attending, contact your Mid mentor to register for summer courses. WSGW News Time is 6:07.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
WSGW News Time is 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A Genesee County man is heading to trial on charges that he had sex with a student while he was a teacher. 54-year-old Jerry Cutting is accused of having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl. The encounters allegedly took place from the end of the 2021 school year and into the next at Atherton Community Schools in Burton, where Cutting taught, at his home and in various hotels in the country. An investigation into Cutting began after other students informed faculty at the school. Cutting is charged with 6 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. He has been bound over to the Genesee County Circuit Court for trial. Warming temperatures are a welcome reprieve this week, but high winds can bring increased fire danger. Michigan news source's Katie Hyde has this.
Both the Michigan DNR and the National Weather Service say Michigan residents should not burn yard waste from now through Friday to prevent wildfires due to the dry weather. High winds will pose a particular risk on Tuesday and Wednesday. Reporting for Michigan News Source, I'm Katie Hyde.
Crews from the Michigan Department of Transportation began work yesterday on Eastman Avenue, US 10, and Wackerly Street in Midland. The city says the project will add dedicated through and right turn lanes on northbound Eastman and a dedicated right turn lane on westbound Wackerly, as well as updated traffic signals and ADA-accessible sidewalk improvements at the intersection of the two roadways. Through May 30th, a detour will be set up for drivers looking to travel eastbound on Wackerly. Work is expected to be completed by the end of June. Hemlock High School's Gray Matter robotics team will be competing on the world stage later this month. The team placed 6th in state championships held last week at Saginaw Valley State University, qualifying for the first robotics world competition in Houston, Texas. The team was also given the Gracious Professionalism Award in recognition of their sportsmanship through the season. The district says the FIRST robotics program is an integral part of its STEM curriculum, and the team has shown exceptional dedication throughout this year's competition. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 989-752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Jonathan Dent. Now WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Monroe.
Today, we have a high of 73 degrees with partly to mostly sunny skies. Not exactly going to be a blue sky all day, but definitely still going to stay bright in a similar fashion to Monday. And we also see wind gusts picking up in the afternoon. Those will reach around 30 miles per hour from the west-southwest. For tonight, we'll have decreasing clouds and a low 54, a southwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then Wednesday, sunny skies, 76 degrees, wind gusts during the afternoon up to 35 miles per hour. Then on Thursday, those winds nowhere near as strong and still sunny, a high of 77 on Thursday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom and expanded product lines, all waiting for you at Westside Decorating Center. By the way, we thank Matthew Mondro for our forecast. 61 degrees right now in the Great Lakes Bay region. I'm sure you've all heard over the years about a bug called the gypsy moth. Well, the gypsy moth has had its name changed. And consequently, an organization responsible for controlling the gypsy moth has changed its name. We're talking about the Bay County Gypsy Moth Suppression Program. And with us this morning is Jeremy Lowell. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing today?
Hey, we're doing well. So
wonderful.
What does your new business card say now?
Yeah, Art. So like you said, this name change kind of was out of our hands when it comes to gypsy moth. This was actually done by the Entomological Society of America. They decided to change the name from gypsy moth to spongy moth, and that has to do with some cultural issues and kind of the term gypsy being considered offensive to some people. Mostly people from Romania. Yeah, it kind of goes into that a little bit, but through that we found a very unique opportunity. Our program, even though we started as a gypsy moth program, over the years, we've really kind of evolved to take on more invasive species and to deal with other things that are kind of affecting the health of our trees and plants in the area, such as the emerald ash borer. So we always felt calling ourselves just the gypsy moth program, especially in recent years, was kind of selling us short. So we found this as a unique opportunity. And rather than just calling ourselves the spongy moth program and following suit that way,
which is a weird name.
It is a weird name. And just to give you a little heads up, spongy moth comes from their egg masses that they actually lay on the trees. That's used as like a population indicator by managers like myself. And basically the sponge-like feel of the egg masses and the kind of the way they look and the porous kind of material that they tend to be made from, that's where the name actually comes from. So through this, we kind of said, hey, rather than just be the spongy moth program, maybe this is a great time to kind of reassess where we're at with everything. And considering the amount of other invasive species we work with that kind of revolve around forest health, we ended up settling on the Forest Sustainability Program, and we're actually really happy with that name. So, yep.
So let's talk about the gypsy knee spongy moth. How severe a problem has that been in recent years? Because we've been controlling it for some time.
That we have really in about 2020, we really started kind of in the whole Midwest and also, throughout the whole state of Michigan and also other states in the Midwest. Due to kind of weather conditions, a lot of these things, these natural biological controls that tend to keep gypsy moth in check, tend to their populations were all down, these kind of natural controls that help keep these populations at bay. And kind of through having like some drought springs the last few years and just kind of the perfect weather conditions, we actually started to see this like cyclical outbreak. And I would say what the state of Michigan and some of these other states in the Midwest have experienced in the last few years hadn't really been seen since the late 80s and mid 90s, somewhere in that range. That's really the last time gypsy moth reared its head to this level, and really it's a lot of those natural forces just allowing this bug to kind of spread like crazy like this. So yeah.
Is it in control right now?
So we do treat every year, not every year, but the last few years we have been treating to keep up with them. We treated around 4,000 acres of woodlots last year in Bay County to help control these really bad outbreak populations. And this year, again, we are treating around 4,000 acres again, but we are seeing kind of a downtick in the overall population. We didn't find as many per acre as we had in previous years. So I would say that it is on the downtrend, Art, but it really took a lot of work through gypsy moth management and kind of being able to use our aerial spray operations to help control these things. And luckily for places like Bay County, who do have a program in place, we saw very little defoliation, whereas the rest of the state had a lot of their forests and trees horribly defoliated, that type of thing. We were very lucky to kind of stay on top of it.
Yeah, that was my next question. What does the gypsy moth do to a tree? Will it kill it?
So, a lot of people, a healthy tree will usually withstand gypsy moth defoliation for a year or two. But the problem, Art, is when you have stress trees or trees that are dealing with other issues already. Perhaps they had a drought spring, perhaps they had a harsh winter. So you imagine those factors on top of then getting defoliated by spongy moth, gypsy moth, and getting all their leaves stripped so they're no longer able to produce their food and those vital nutrients they need to grow and survive. So in situations like that, you can see tree mortality. And the more years in a row these trees are defoliated by spongy moth, the more likely they are to die. So yes, you can lose trees to them. Even though the first year a healthy tree is defoliated, it likely will refoliate and not die. But it's when those other factors come in too.
So gypsy moth control, spongy moth control, if you will. What do you use, and does it have impact on beneficial insects and others?
So we use a product called BTK, which is Bacillus thuringiensis kerstaki. And what this is a naturally occurring biological insecticide. A lot of the same materials you can find in biodegrading soil. And what happens with this, I will say it is organic certified to kind of show you where it's at on the level of harm it can cause to other things. It's very low impact, the actual active ingredient. And what happens when we treat gypsy moth by airplane is we will basically we will take an airplane and fly it over these infested woodlots. And it's actually not a contact killer, the chemical itself. The insecticide needs to fall on the leaves of the trees, and the feeding caterpillars have to be at the correct life stage to be affected by the chemical. If they're too small, they're not feeding enough and getting enough of the chemical off the leaves of the trees. And if they're too big, they're too hardy, and the chemical actually will maybe make them a little lethargic or sick, but it won't end up killing them. So kind of the biggest stress for my job is really timing that treatment when these caterpillars are only in what we call second instar. That's the second time they shed their skin. They will go through 5 to 6 of these in their life cycle. And when about 50 to 75% of the population is within that small instar state, that is when they are the most susceptible to BTK. So that is when we are spraying them. And usually, not only do you have the low impact of the chemical, and you have the treatment timing, which we're working very specifically on, but usually being an invasive species, the gypsy moth caterpillars tend to come out before a lot of our mainstream caterpillars, before a lot of the other insects that are native to our landscape are really emerging and feeding and doing their thing. So we always consider the impacts to non-target organisms extremely minimal when using BTK. So I would say that we do feel very fortunate to work with a chemical like that is not having those harsh effects on other things.
All right, hang on, Jeremy. I got to take a break, and we'll come back. We're talking to Jeremy Lowell from the Forest Sustainability Program now in Bay County. More on that when we return.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of Suntech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish, or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. And the baseball word this hour is Central, as in the Central Division, Central, Central. Alpha Media Company-wide contest must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open mixed, with investors bracing for the consumer price index to be released tomorrow morning. CarMax shares are higher. Its quarter was weaker than a year ago, though the company was holding up better than expected. Supermarket chain Albertsons reported an upbeat quarter, with sales and profits stronger than expected, though the stock is lower. Albertsons said it is preparing for a more difficult consumer environment in the coming year. Albertsons has agreed to be acquired by Kroger. Moderna shares are slumping. The company says its flu vaccine didn't produce results necessary to declare early success. And Tilray brand shares are losing ground after it agreed to buy Hexo, another cannabis company, in an all-stock deal. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Jeremy Lowell from the Bay County Forest Sustainability Program. Let's talk about some of the other problems in the forest. You mentioned the emerald ash borer. Have we made any progress with that?
The emerald ash borer, Art, unfortunately, is kind of, I always consider it a story that us invasive species managers can learn from. Unfortunately, when the emerald ash borer was first discovered in Michigan, we were the state to have it first, unfortunately. We believe it came over on palleting materials, likely from Asia, and that it could have got here. I know it was confirmed at Bay County in 2007. So with that, it basically caught managers off guard. There was nothing we could do, and with how fast this invasive insect was killing our ash trees, in terms of trying to come up with a treatment that would work, we were already behind the gun, right? We were already behind, and this insect was already destroying. By the time the chemicals that did have good success were even federally regulated, the emerald ash borer had already taken such a big toll. So unfortunately, we have lost a ton of our ash trees in the state of Michigan. Actually, we have lost up to 99% of some of our species of ash in the Midwest due to the emerald ash borer. So unfortunately, in terms of that, the overall picture is not pretty, but there are programs like ours, and we actually treat around 3,000 publicly owned ash trees in Bay County. These are trees that our public benefits from the most, whether they be in schoolyards, along our streets, those types of things. And basically, we have these trees on a 3-year treatment rotation where we actually do inject them with a chemical that gets into the nutrient and water uptake system of the tree. This chemical then protects the tree from the emerald ash borer. So when it is feeding on its leaves or the larva is trying to bore within the core areas of that tree that actually causes the tree to die, they get the chemical within them and they experience mortality. So there are things you can do, but overall it was a huge learning experience for managers just because the amount of destruction. And it kind of showed us, you always need to be looking ahead, not what's here right now, but what could be here in 5-10 years, and how do we best prepare for that? So it was a big lesson.
That's an interesting question. I mean, how would you have known 10 years ago that 5 years from that date, the emerald ash borer was going to be a problem? And how would you have known what the treatment is if you didn't know what the problem was?
Exactly, Art. And that's where the problem comes in. And luckily, it was a learning experience. So what you see in our field now is we come up with these things called like preparedness plans. If these insects that we know could come into our native ecosystems and take over and cause these issues that invasive species do, what can we do ahead of time? Where can the research start going? What can we start doing to be prepared? Whereas emerald ash borer, it was basically, hey, it's here, we're already behind the ball, and we never caught up to it. So you are correct on that. If you don't know and you can't really predict these things, how do you even begin? But the emerald ash borer taught us as managers to really look for these potential target insects that could cause issues.
So
a new one. Yep, go ahead, Art.
The emerald ash borer, there would have been no clues ahead of time since we were the first ones to get it. I assume you can look at other states and see what they're facing and say to yourself, whatever they're facing could be here.
Yes. You can look at other states where perhaps it started. Michigan, now people are looking at us, right? A lot of the states in the South where the emerald ash borer is getting, hey, what did you guys do? What can we do? And, we have 15, 20 years of experience of this now, of going through this. So, yes, we do share our ideas and we share what has worked. And, versus being ground zero, we didn't have anybody to look at, right? The state of Michigan was, we had nothing to compare to. And you can't even look at the insect in its native ecosystem because it doesn't cause destruction like it does to our ash trees over here, right? And the ash trees in Asia and stuff, because they have those natural defenses that protect them. So it's an extremely tricky thing, and it makes a lot of sense why it took us off guard. But as I can say, that was a huge learning experience for us. And now people are kind of looking at those potential insects that could cause that kind of damage. And what can we learn from this? What can we learn from other states that are maybe dealing with invasives that haven't gotten to Michigan yet? Such as the spotted lanternfly, which is a new one that was just confirmed in Michigan on August 10th of last year in Oakland County. So,
and what does it do?
So the spotted lanternfly is a plant hopping insect, and it basically it has mouth sucking parts, and it likes to suck the sap from inside of plants. And the big problem with this, it started in Pennsylvania. This is another one that came from the area of Asia, and it's got brought over here, and it started in the area of Pennsylvania, kind of the northeastern states of the United States. And the problem with spotted lanternfly is they really go after our orchard plants, our cherry, our apple, our grapes. They can be absolutely, so you think about Michigan, right?
Cash
you think
crops.
about our grapes.
Yeah.
Yes. You think about our cash crops. You think about our wine industry. You think about the cherry industry. These insects have really wreaked havoc with that. And it's really, they get out of control. There's nothing to control them. And they all get on these trees and they will start sucking the sap from them. And when they do that, they create this nasty stuff called honeydew. It's like a sticky, nasty residue, and that's what they excrete while they're eating. And this gets all over the tree. And then this, while that's decaying, that creates like a black, sooty mold, which can really hurt the health of the tree. And then not only that, it attracts other insects, such as bees, wasps, ants, other things that can affect not only the people that may be around these trees, but the tree's health itself. So it's kind of a big array of things that this can do. But the good note about spotted lanternfly is that we already have treatments that can work for it, and we are already preparing for it. So it's kind of a great lesson there, Art, compared to the emerald ash borer, where we had no game plan and we had no blueprint of what to do. Because spotted lanternfly started in Pennsylvania and they've been battling this now for years, we kind of know what works. We know what treatments have to be done. We know what to look for in terms of, what tree species they may be going after. They need a host tree called Tree of Heaven, which is also an invasive tree that evolved with the spotted lanternfly in its home range of Asia. So if we know where those trees are and we can remove those trees, you're kind of taking out a part of that insect's life cycle. There's also chemical treatments that have worked for emerald ash borer that also work for spotted lanternfly. Injectable things, injectable chemicals that basically go into the tree, get into that nutrient uptake system of the tree, and then as the spotted lanternfly feeds on these plants, it will then ingest the chemical and pass away. So it is a great example of, even though it is new, and it's scary, and it can really, that's the heart of our cash crop industries, as you said. We do feel a little bit more prepared, and that is one of the things our program is taking on, is kind of, hey, if this gets to Bay County, who do we need to contact? What do we need to do? And that's like a goal of ours here, to really establish kind of a preparedness plan for when spotted lanternfly does get to Bay County.
So what are your other sustainability concerns about the forest around here?
So really, Art, it's just, I think if you could boil it down, I think our program is really here. I think in today's day and age, people realize the importance of trees. They realize the value that their trees have, whether that is, mitigating heating costs or cooling costs in the summer, whether that's flood mitigation, whether that's helping produce healthier air. The nice part about our field right now is people tend to get that value of their tree. And I think the biggest thing that we're looking at now is just promoting that message more and getting people to understand that invasive insects, such as the emerald ash borer, such as spongy moth, such as spotted lanternfly, these things really can be a detriment to our natural forest systems, to our street trees, to many of these things that, many of these tree species that make up our landscapes, whether that's urban or rural. And I think it's just the bigger picture of, understanding the value that you have in your trees, how important they are to, our ecosystem, to, whether you're a homeowner or whatever that may be, just understanding how important trees are and that value and promoting that value, and how a program like ours really helps promote that value and hold on to that value by stopping these invasive insects from going through and destroying our natural trees and, destroying defoliating trees. And spongy moth also, it's a pest. It's not just the health issues it can cause forests and trees. It's, the nuisance that it brings along with it.
If someone has what they think is a spongy moth problem, can they get in touch with you for treatment?
So the biggest thing I have to say right away is we are a Bay County program.
Right.
We are a millage ran program. So our work does stay within the Bay County limits. But yes, if anyone is in Bay County and they believe they're having an invasive species issue or even a tree health issue, we are glad to take that on. I will say if you're outside of Bay County, we will gladly take phone calls and do our best to give advice and maybe get you in the right direction. But in terms of, let's just take it from if somebody does live in Bay County, if you believe you're having a spongy moth issue on your property, normally the telltale sign is the egg masses that you will find all on the trees. They're tan, brownish, about the size of your thumb, and you'll start seeing those sponge-like egg masses all over the trees. And that's usually a good indicator that you're going to have an issue with the caterpillars. Or a lot of people will find the feeding caterpillars starting to defoliate their trees, and we will get calls from landowners like that. I will say the most important thing for us in Bay County, we are a team of two, and we have a whole lot of woodlots to keep an eye on. So we really do value landowner tips and landowners that keep an eye on their properties that can let us know, hey, I found some egg masses on my property. Hey, I noticed some feeding spongy mouth caterpillars. Can you guys come out and take a look? And usually when we get those tips, that is when we know somebody's having an issue in an area. We will come and visit the property, meet the landowner, and we will go out and we'll actually do population counts, and we will get an egg mass per acre count, which kind of helps us judge just how bad the level of caterpillar population will be the next year. And we can predict defoliation that way. So if people feel they're having that kind of an issue, they can always reach out to us. We're glad to come out and monitor your property and see where that population's at. You may not quite be high enough to hit that threshold of aerial treatment where we actually can fly the plane over. That's usually set aside for the highest level of populations, but we also are more than willing to give a homeowner's guide that we created of some techniques that homeowners can use just on their own without having to kind of contact us and without having to work through us. Things that they can do when they maybe have a lower population, affecting a couple trees on their property.
I can sense a drone in your future.
We have thought about that, and it's actually really cool what you can do with that in terms of imagery. And then you think about things of getting to places where we can't get and being able to see this defoliation in areas. That really could be valuable. And that's funny you say that. We actually have played with that idea.
Good deal. Listen, tell everybody your website if they can get more information.
Oh, yeah. So our website is actually still under Bay County Gypsy Moth Program. If you just type in Bay County Gypsy Moth, it'll pop up on the Bay County webpage. You should be able to get to our website. We're currently updating that. We'll match our name to the Forest Sustainability Program when we get the chance and everything. But I believe the actual website is still under Bay County Gypsy Moth. And then also, if you would like to reach us at our office number, that would be 989-895-4195. And as I said, we would be glad to take any term of phone calls if people have just questions in general, or if they would like to get their land monitored. Yep.
Can you hang on?
Yeah.
All right. Hang on one more segment. Hold on. We'll be right back.
All right. Yeah.
Liven up the look of your home this summer with the help of Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. Hi, this is Marianne, and nothing brightens up the interior look of your home more than beautiful new flooring. And right now we have all the most popular styles and colors of carpet, as well as wood and tile, with beautiful patterns with a very natural look. Warden Interiors also does custom laminate and solid surface countertops, including the Cambria Quartz solid surface and Corian that everyone is talking about. Even new window fashions will give your home a breath of fresh style for summer. We have all the new Hunter Douglas window treatments that help keep the harsh sun rays and heat outside where they belong. Warden Interiors features Duet Architella shades with the best UV protection in the industry. There are so many ways our expert design team can make your home into a showplace. It is a breeze to refresh, rejuvenate, and restyle your home for summer. So come in and visit us. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
Are you ready for a new vehicle? Let us help you finance your dreams at United Financial Credit Union. We've made the car shopping process even easier. Research and compare vehicles, receive free Carfax reports, get an insurance quote, and view local dealer inventory, all from the comfort of your own home with the auto shopping feature on our website. Simply visit our website today to start shopping for your next vehicle. If you've already found your perfect vehicle, contact us today to get your auto loan started. We can help you get on the road in your new car. And for a limited time, you can enjoy 90 days with no payments.
Some restrictions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
Warmer weather is hopefully on its way. At Associates in Eye Care, they want you to remember to wear sunglasses with UV protection. Most of us acquire 80% of our lifetime UV exposure before 18. So it's extremely important for children to have sunglasses with UV protection. Ultraviolet rays have harmful effects on the eyes that can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw or Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. Jeremy Lowell with us from the Forest Sustainability Program in Bay County. And we have a caller who wants to talk to Jeremy. This is Dwayne in Reese. Dwayne, you're on with Jeremy. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. I just read on one of my farm papers last night on the emerald ash borers. There's a wasp that's out there to take care of them. They're not your big wasp like you see flying around your yard during the summer and people are afraid of. These are real small wasps. Somehow they put these on the trees, or they get underneath the bark and they take care of the ash borer eggs or larvae. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that is a great point. So in our management, we consider this would be what we consider biological control, right? Using another live entity to control another insect like the emerald ash borer. So with emerald ash borer, the wasp that you're referring to is actually called Atanicolis, is the species name for that. And what it is, it's a wasp that actually natively grew with the emerald ash borer in Asia. And you are completely correct. It is one of the natural biological controls on that side of the world that helps keep emerald ash borer in check. And what it does is we actually brought them to America in the hopes that they would continue to play that role. And what happens is, yes, Atanicolis was released in hopes that it would help slow this down. And they will actually go and they will lay, the wasp will find the emerald ash borer eggs on the outside bark of an ash tree, and they will actually parasitize those eggs. They will feed on them, they'll lay their young within them, and then their young, the actual baby wasp, will grow and develop kind of within the emerald ash borer egg. So as crude as that is, it really does, help out a little bit in terms of that. But the reason that this did not take off fully is, yes, it will take a little bit of a dent. And yes, they will parasitize some of these eggs. They will lay their eggs within emerald ash borer eggs. They will, stunt the development of the larva, that type of thing. but not to the level that the emerald ash borer was able to take off here. And that is due to us just having no natural predators. Our ash trees have no chemical defenses against them. Basically, when, our green and white ash, which is a high majority of the ash trees in Michigan, when they get infected with emerald ash borer, they were able to go through those trees so fast and with no defense whatsoever that even when we did have a Tanacolis, the small wasp, laying on these eggs and trying to help that out to kind of stunt this population, it wasn't enough when you look at the whole thing. And I will say there is a similar wasp for spongy moth also. It's called Oencertus. Same type of thing. It will parasitize the egg mass. You'll actually see little holes in the egg mass. Sometimes you can see them crawling around on the top of the egg mass. And they are doing the same thing that the other wasp does for emerald ash borer. But once again, it helps, and hey, we'll take a helping hand anytime we can get one, but not to not to the level where it's going to like wipe them out completely. So it does help, but just not to the level where it's going to completely control them without outside aid.
Yeah, this article said, actually for the wasp, it should be a good infestation with the ash borer, but if you just a mild case of it, the wasp can only do so much because there's not enough there for them to do what they want to do.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Very good. Dwayne, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for your question.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye now. So from that, I gather, Jeremy, that in different parts of the world, they treat the same problem different ways.
Yes, absolutely. And, you look at the emerald ash borer, and a lot of people don't realize this, right? Like in Asia and, the places where, gypsy moth, spongy moth originates, Europe, Asia, throughout in the emerald ash borer, we'll talk about both of them. These species are not problems over there. They have the natural controls. They have the natural predators. The Chinese ash species, the Asian ash species that the emerald ash borer actually co-evolved with, and that's the main tree and its staple over there.
Yeah.
That tree will allow the emerald ash borer to, it'll lay its eggs on there. It may do a little bit of feeding, but then the tree starts producing chemical defenses and basically will drive the emerald ash borer out. So yes, they're able to use each tree a little bit, but the tree also has that natural defense to push them back out.
Right.
So, that's why the ash trees in Asia were not destroyed. So,
I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming into one more segment. We have another call waiting for you. So hang on.
That's okay.
We'll be right back after these notes. And let me ask how you slept last night, folks, because today we're asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed, you spend a third of your life there. You need quality sleep, and you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress, and they feature a 1-hour delivery window of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call them 989-753-1757.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Save big on spring project supplies with 11% off everything at Menards. Keep your lawn and garden tools organized with a 5-tier plastic shelving unit, just $29.98 after sale price and rebate. Stock up with spring cleaning supplies, including a heavy-duty 32-gallon trash can with lid, only $9.99 after 11% rebate. Good through April 16th, savings are a mail-in rebate. See store for details on these and many more great deals for your spring cleanups.
Save big money at Menards.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show. Weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Jeremy Lowell from the Bay County Forest Sustainability Program, formerly the Gypsy Moth Control Program. And we have Carol. Carol is in Sheridan. Carol, you are on with Jeremy. Good morning.
Hi. Well, I'm a number 1 tree hugger in Michigan, maybe. We own some property. And a few years ago, being in Montcalm County, Evergreen Township, we have quite a few gypsy moths, or so mentioned. And we had very good luck. We went for a walk, and we take a coffee can or you know, something easy. And underneath, a lot of times under the cherries where they bend down, we just knocked off those casings. And that did kind of help slow them up. So every time you see some of them casings, and you want to make sure you cover up that jar. If you stick them in the garage, you'll have a few million gypsy moths in your yard or in your garage. But that really did help. I mean, because there were thousands and thousands of those in those casings. So
Absolutely.
We just knocked them off. So anybody's got, you know, shade trees or anything, and they see those casings, just knock them off into a little dawn, you know, like a cottage cheese carton with some dawn in it, and you can knock off quite a few of them.
Yeah, that is a great point. And just to add to that, if you have those types of techniques tend to work when the population is maybe, you know, lower to medium level. When you're at complete outbreak and all your trees can have, you know, I've seen it where one tree can have 3,000 of those egg mass casings on it. And so, you know, I'll go a case-by-case basis. So I will say, yes, actually, you know, taking the egg masses off, what we usually suggest is people can actually scrape them off into like a soapy water and let them soak. There's actually a product, it's a soybean oil product, and we're actually going to do some experimentation with this year, but what this is basically, it's like a sealant. It's made from soybean oil, and you can spray it over top of the egg masses, and what it does is it basically locks those egg masses so they can't get oxygen, they can't get anything like that, and it kind of halts the development. So versus you know, scraping each and every one of them off, you know, there is some things you can do. And then also the chemical that I talked about, BTK, which we use, there is an over-the-counter version of BT. It's called Thuricide, and you can purchase this at, you know, a lot of your local stores. Menards, Home Depot should carry it. I know you can get it on Amazon. But if you know when, say, my program is treating for gypsy moth and you were to buy that BT product and you know you have feeding caterpillars, as long as you're spraying, you know, the leaves on the trees that they're feeding on, once again, this wouldn't be for a whole forest setting, right? Maybe you just have a couple smaller trees in your front yard that are being infested. You would then go spray the Thuricide around the same time when we're treating gypsy moth, when those caterpillars are at that correct size, when they're at that smaller size, about a ½ inch long. And then as you spray the leaves on that trees, they will eat that product and then they will pass away. So there are these little homeowner techniques. I don't know if you've ever heard of tree banding, but people will often put burlap, burlap around their trees to catch the caterpillars crawling up and down the tree. That is another technique. So yeah, you are not completely in the dark just because you may not qualify for aerial treatment or because, you know, you may not have a spray program. There are things you can do, but I will say when the populations get to that high outbreak level, you know, that is almost always going to, you know, aerial treatment is going to be your best bet. But if you can catch it early, like it sounds like you did, and you were just able to scrape them off, before they can even get started in the area.
Oh, we had a whole, we had coffee cans full.
Yeah.
We had coffee cans.
The only thing about that is we're only dealing with the lower part of the canopy, right?
Yes, that is it too. You are only likely going to be able to get the ones you can reach, right? Where gypsy moth, spongy moth, they will lay on the very bottom to the very top of the trees. I've seen them up as high as 70 to 80 feet up cottonwood trees, so they will lay that high. And yeah, that is where kind of the aerial treatment tends to take over. But as I said, if you have a couple smaller, maybe maple trees in your front yard, Norway maples or something, and they have egg masses on them, and that would
cherry,
be
they love cherry. They love cherry trees too. They like
yes, they
like
do.
the wild
Black cherry yep.
trees. But when you spray things, I always think our butterflies, because our butterflies are to a scary low number. We have some Canadian lilacs, and they used to just be full of butterflies, and not anymore.
Right.
We're lucky to see them. So every time you spray something, that's in jeopardy of the butterflies.
Well,
too.
it's like everything else, though. It's risk reward. Unfortunately,
but the swallowtails are very, very few. The swallowtails and the giant swallowtails, there used to be 7-8 on there at once, and now there's none. Last year, I don't think there's a swallowtail on them at all.
Yeah, but
so
you don't know why.
It is scary. We got a problem.
Well, you don't know why, though.
Yeah, I know why.
No, you don't.
Because when they spray stuff and then they eat it, and then it kills the whatever chews on it, kills them. So. We're to a point. We better start thinking about things.
All right, good enough, Carol.
Yeah, bye-bye. Lots of luck with you. I know people that can't even go outdoors. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So, Jeremy, in the end, again, give us the website that you think is up right now.
Yeah. So if you just Google Bay County Gypsy Moth, that should take you right to our program.
Yeah.
Yep, Bay County Gypsy Moth, take us to our program. And like I said, we're glad to take emails. You should be able to find our email address and our phone number there. We're happy to take phone calls and emails from people, even if you aren't within Bay County. But when it comes to actual treatment in Bay County, unfortunately, you do need to be a Bay County resident for our services. So
good enough. Jeremy, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
All right. Yes, Art, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time and to talk about our program.
Do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Reach out to us. Sounds
all right,
great.
We'll do. Thanks.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Jeremy Lowell from the Bay County, let's see, now it's the Forest Sustainability Program, the new name for it. Take our last break, come back, and close out.
Take your career to all new heights at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and Saginaw Eagles Landing. With a wide variety of positions for all levels of experience, there's a perfect opportunity for you at one of Michigan's premier gaming and entertainment destinations. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings. Plus, learn about benefits, free staff lunches, $15 an hour minimum wages, and more. Apply today at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
Get your Tigers tickets for the biggest matchups of the season, plus the all-new Party in the Park every Friday. We have giveaways on Saturdays, and it's Chevy Sunday Kids Day every Sunday. Tigers tickets are available at tigers.com. Get the party started early every Friday home game with the all-new Party in the Park, featuring a different theme every Friday. Arrive early for pregame happy hour, $5 drink special, live music, plus themed entertainment throughout the game.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Questions remain a day after police say a 25-year-old gunman live streamed his massacre at the Old National Bank in Louisville, Kentucky. CBS's Jim Krasula has an update on our top story.
Police are still working to learn the motive of a former bank employee who opened fire inside the building. 5 people were killed and 8 others were wounded. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg.
We must call on our state legislatures to give cities like Louisville the autonomy to control our own destiny with respect to reducing this gun violence epidemic.
The mayor appeared on CBS Mornings.
A second black Democratic lawmaker in Tennessee expelled for protesting gun violence could get his job back soon. Correspondent Mark Strassman is in Nashville.
The Shelby County Board of Commissioners is expected to decide tomorrow whether to return the former Memphis representative to his now vacant seat on an interim basis.
We are here because our people, our communities are saying it is time for justice now.
I caught up with Pearson outside Nashville City Hall.
Why is it important for them to appoint you, not for you, but as a message?
Exactly. It is important that we send a clear message that the people in District 86 representation matters.
Yesterday, Justin Jones was reappointed to his seat on the Nashville Metro Council. CBS News confirms Democrats will head to Chicago for their political convention next year. The city beat out 2 other progressive liberal cities, New York and Atlanta. Republicans will hold their national convention in Milwaukee. The International Monetary Fund has made a downbeat prediction. CBS's Vicki Barker from the Foreign Desk.
The IMF paints a picture of a global economy running out of what little steam it had recovered post-pandemic. Among the reasons why
inflation is much stickier than anticipated, even a few months ago.
The IMF's Pierre-Olivier Gorincha says rising interest rates and nervousness about recent bank failures are also putting the brakes on global economic growth.
This morning, President Biden weighed in on espionage charges against a Wall Street Journal reporter detained in Russia.
We're making it real clear that it's being totally illegal what's happening, and we declared it so, changes the dynamic.
A dedicated State Department office will take the lead on trying to secure Evan Gorshkovich's release. Next time your phone or your laptop runs out of battery, don't plug it into a public charger. The FBI is warning hackers may have gotten to it first. Global Security IQ CEO Holly Hubert.
When you plug your device in, if there's a malicious code or a compromise on that USB that you're plugging into, data can be expelled or extracted through that cable.
The Dow is up 64 points. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com, STIHLUSA.com.
We now call to order the meeting of extraordinary heroes. Thunderfoot, here. Mega Maiden.
Let's go.
Wheat Farmer.
Yeah. What am I doing here?
You defeated Evil Dawn and saved your crop quality.
Well, yeah. I used Sphere X fungicide on my wheat and barley.
Keep your secrets, man.
No secret, just best-in-class Dawn reduction.
So modest. A mighty hero indeed.
Be a hero with Sphere X fungicide from BASF.
Always read and follow label directions.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 66 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Jonathan Dent. State lawmakers return to work after a 2-week spring break today. The State House Transportation Committee is hearing testimony this morning about bills that would update distracted driving laws. Representative Matt Kolazar from Plymouth says his legislation would prohibit a person from using a cell phone or any mobile electronic device while driving. Currently, drivers cannot drive and text. Kolazar says that there are about 3,000 people who die each year across the country in distracted driving crashes. Meantime, the House Education Committee will consider legislation that recommends the Michigan Education Department develop a cursive handwriting instruction plan for public schools in Michigan. Districts would be strongly encouraged, but not mandated, to adopt the cursive plan. Submissions are open for the Bay County Fair and Youth Expo Ag Olympics T-shirt design contest. Kids 19 and under can send in their T-shirt designs to the Bay County Fair, and the winner will have their design worn on the shirts participants wear in the Ag Olympics. The winner will be decided by how original, visible, and relevant to the agricultural theme the design is. The deadline is April 28th. People can get submission details or enter designs by emailing baycountyfair@yahoo.com. Contract crews will be making road repairs in Saginaw this week within the right-of-way of West Genesee Avenue between Handley Street and Brenner Street. The road will be closed from Wednesday the 12th at 7 a.m. until Wednesday the 19th at 5 p.m. During this time, the eastbound and westbound lanes will be closed to through traffic. The city of Saginaw asks residents to follow the given detour and to be patient while work is being done. WSGW News Time is 11:07.
Hi, this is Jessica. Have you given your child the opportunity to get a healthy financial start? By opening a youth or teen account at United Financial, your child can start learning the benefits of saving right now. We offer a variety of perks for our young members too. A special 6-month certificate of deposit, additional rewards for saving, and for good grades. Hey teens, did you know we have an account just for you? Open your first checking account and debit card at the credit union, and we will also share important tips on how to best manage your new account. Visit our website for details and see just how easy it is to open your new account with United Financial Credit Union.
Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
WSGW News Time is 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Antrim County authorities are asking for help finding a missing 23-year-old man. Christopher Fant was last seen April 6th when he said he was headed to the Metro Detroit area. Deputies believe he was driving a blue Chevy Cobalt. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Antrim County Sheriff's Office. This week is STI Awareness Week, and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services wants residents to think about getting tested. The department says that if you're sexually active, you might want to consider getting tested for a sexually transmitted infection. Syphilis rates have doubled in the state in the last 10 years, affecting even babies who are exposed to the infection. Frequent testing can protect you or your loved ones, according to the department. STIs are treatable, and early detection is the best way to prevent other health problems. Find information about where to get tested at michigan.gov/HIVSTI. Michigan businesses are encouraged to submit proposals to the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. LEO has $4.7 million to award to applicants to help lessen the labor shortage for employer-led collaboratives. 10 to 20 applicants are expected to benefit and receive one-time grants of $100,000 to $500,000. The proposal deadline is May 8th, and the awards will be announced on June 23rd. There will be an information session on April 14th at 9 a.m. Helpful applicants can find more information and register for the session at michigan.gov/MICA. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 989-752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Jonathan Dent. Now WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Today, we have a high of 73 degrees with partly to mostly sunny skies. Not exactly going to be a blue sky all day, but definitely still going to stay bright in a similar fashion to Monday. And we also see wind gusts picking up in the afternoon. Those will reach around 30 miles per hour from the west-southwest. For tonight, we'll have decreasing clouds and a low 54, a southwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then Wednesday, sunny skies, 76 degrees, wind gusts during the afternoon up to 35 miles per hour. Then on Thursday, those winds nowhere near as strong and still sunny, a high of 77 on Thursday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently 66 degrees in the Great Lakes Bay region.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
And indeed, RoofMax. You can find out more about this easy and affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement online at getroofmax.com, 2 X's. Or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. There is, in Saginaw and Shiawassee counties, Habitat for Humanity. It is the Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity. And with us this morning is its executive director. We say good morning to Carmen Mora. Carmen, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. I think before we get into some of the details of Habitat for Humanity today, let's look at the Carmen Mora story, if you will. What's been your rise through Habitat?
Well, I've been with Habitat for about 14 years, and it wasn't necessarily a career change that I anticipated. I worked for the Catholic Church for 20-some years before, but I grew increasingly aware and concerned and wanted to try to find a solution. I lived at a homeless shelter for about 7 years, and at the Mustard Seed. And
you were there as
I was there as a volunteer staff.
As a volunteer staff. Yeah, okay.
At that time, we were all volunteers, but when I was looking at housing and the housing issues that exist in Saginaw, I needed to do something about it. And that's how I became interested and involved with Habitat. And, here I am almost 15 years later.
So when we talk about Habitat for Humanity, most people think of the days of Jimmy Carter, swinging the hammer and houses being built. Is that still the foundation of Habitat for Humanity, or has the program changed, morphed a little bit?
So there's a lot that we do. So we still do new builds. So it's what we're most known for because that's how we started across the country. But we also rehab homes, which means they're vacant homes, foreclosed homes that do not have a family in them. We purchase those homes or acquire those homes. Sometimes they're donated. And then we rehab them and sell them to partner families who are ready for home purchase. We also work with families who own their homes, but have, for whatever reason, are not able to afford the expensive repairs. So we do everything from very light exterior work, which is like scraping and painting and some of the maintenance, to deeper repairs, such as replacing roofs, furnaces, water heaters, insulation, exterior doors, windows. We also do accessibility modifications. So families who have a member that has a physical need, we also change bathrooms, right? So we make a bathroom usable.
So they're ADA accessible. Yeah.
Exactly, right. And so we'll build ramps as well. And all of that is done grant funded. So it's not an additional burden on the family to get their home repaired, right? They're already paying for their mortgage, taxes, and insurance. And they have, the bills they have. And it's not necessarily about having a low income, right? So we serve families from very low income to a modest income.
So what does it mean for a neighborhood when when Habitat for Humanity comes in?
Well, I have exciting news. As of, recent, we will be working in the Covenant area neighborhood, and we are partnering with Covenant Healthcare. Covenant Healthcare has been playing a role in their own neighborhood for a long time.
Right.
But as you know, they run a hospital, and as a community, we're very grateful that that's what they do. But they want to have an impact in the neighborhood. And so they are partnering with us to make those real changes happen in the neighborhood. So all of the things that I've been talking about, whether it's new builds, rehabs, home repairs, the deep home repairs, accessibility modifications, and what we call home preservation, which is the light exterior maintenance. So the scraping, painting, repairs of steps, things like that. All of that is coming to Covenant Neighborhood beginning this June.
How do the homeowners become involved? Do they have to apply for Habitat services?
Absolutely. Right now, applications for Covenant Neighborhood are open. All they have to do is call our office at 989-753-5200, and then just say that they're in the Covenant area neighborhood and they would be interested in participating this June.
Is it a income-based work or not?
It is. They just it is. So for all our work, it's income-based. It just depends on where they fall, whether we're able to serve them or able to serve them with, what product.
And what's the time frame of the work? When do you start and how long is it going to run?
So for this Covenant area neighborhood, it's called Neighborhood Revitalization. And this is only the beginning, right? So June 14th through the 17th and June 21st to the 23rd are the dates that we are going to be working. And that's just for this, for the home preservation part, because we're going to be working in the neighborhood for several years to come. This is not a one and done. We want to see the transformation happen.
So what about building new houses? Are you doing that in the Saginaw area?
Yes, we're very excited. Yes, we will be in that area, in the Covenant area neighborhood. Right now, we're building 2 new homes. We're building one in near the Covenant area, but not quite in it. It's on Charles, and we're building one in Owasso, and we have 3 rehabs going right now as well. So there's a lot going on, and we have 40-something or 60-something home repairs going at the same time. So there's a lot going on. We're just very excited to be post-COVID and being able to ramp up again.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful staff, and we've been staffing up, right? Because there's so much need and so much excitement around being able to provide these things with the community.
All right, Carmen, hang on. I got to take a break. Come back. I want to talk about volunteers because that is the bread and butter of Habitat for Humanity. The Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity, Carmen Moore, the executive director, with us, and we'll be back with more after these notes.
We are all anxiously awaiting the approach of spring. Longer, warmer days, trees budding, perennial flowers blooming, and the return of our state bird, the robin. What we're not looking forward to is rain, flooding, thunderstorms, and of course, power outages. Oh no! No one wants to be caught off guard with a sump pump problem during a heavy downpour. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can help you plan ahead to avoid a flooded basement. They sell and install primary electric pumps as well as water and battery-powered backup pumps. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can also bring you back to normal from a wet basement with maintenance or replacement of a flooded water heater, furnace, or boiler. Trust the experts with your plumbing and heating mechanical needs in your home. You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, 989-792-8738, or find them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Liven up the look of your home this summer with the help of Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. Hi, this is Marianne, and nothing brightens up the interior look of your home more than beautiful new flooring. And right now we have all the most popular styles and colors of carpet, as well as wood and tile, with beautiful patterns with a very natural look. Warden Interiors also does custom laminate and solid surface countertops, including the Cambria Quartz solid surface and Corian that everyone is talking about. Even new window fashions will give your home a breath of fresh style for summer. We have all the new Hunter Douglas window treatments that help keep the harsh sun rays and heat outside where they belong. Warden Interiors features Duet Architella shades with the best UV protection in the industry. There are so many ways our expert design team can make your home into a showplace. It is a breeze to refresh, rejuvenate, and restyle your home for summer. So come in and visit us. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
It's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. And the baseball word this hour is center, as in center field. Center, C-E-N-T-E-R. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. You must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks presented by Westside Decorating Center on WSGW.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here in the final moments of Focus. We're talking to Carmen Moore, the executive director of the Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity. I mentioned that magic word before the break, volunteers. Where would Habitat be without them?
Absolutely. So Habitat, volunteers are really the heart of Habitat. We would not be able to do what we do without community support. It really is a work, I call it a work of heart. Together, we can make a difference in our communities and in the lives of people who could really benefit from our assistance.
Having done it a couple of times, when you get to a build, you find folks with all kinds of skills. I mean, even if you don't have good skills, there's something you can do, right?
Absolutely. So we tell people you don't have to have any skill at all. So when you come, there are people who are skilled who will teach you to do what needs to be done that time, that morning, that day, and you become an expert at it by the time you're done. So you might be hanging siding and you have never touched a hammer in your life, but they'll teach you how to nail how to nail it and how far to stick the nail in, and it'll be perfect because volunteers, oftentimes that are unskilled, can follow directions so much better in some ways, right? We don't have the preconceived notions of what's right and what's wrong and how to do it my own way. So it's a great partnership.
If someone wants to volunteer and find out about volunteer opportunities, what should they do?
They can call us at the same number, 989-753-5200 here, and just to say that you would like to volunteer. You're welcome to look us up on Facebook, Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat, and we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you as an individual. We'd love to have you with your coworkers, your organization, church group, whatever. We would love to just have, so we organize work groups, we organize larger groups, and we also welcome individuals. So we would love to have you, one person or all of you as a group.
Let's talk for a minute, Carmen, about the Restore.
Yes. So we have two Restores. We have a Restore in Saginaw and a Restore in Owasso. So the Restore is one of the ways that the community can help us. If you donate furniture, if you donate lighting, if you donate windows, whatever it is that you have that you can no longer use, but it's still in really, in good condition, something that someone else could really use. We sell that at the Restore. So it's a thrift store for things that make a house a home. So we do not sell clothing, we do not sell shoes or anything that's wearable, but anything for a home we do sell. And then that money, the net income, is converted into, or is back invested into the work that we do, so that we could do more house building, we can do more repairs, we can do more housing counseling.
Just out of curiosity, in the recent couple of years, home construction prices have gone through the roof because of the cost of lumber and things of that nature. That had to have some impact on you. And have you seen that cost come down at all?
It's had a huge impact. We're seeing it has come down some, but it's not at the level that it was pre-pandemic. And we honestly don't expect those prices to come back down. So now we're facing the challenge of every home that we build or rehab or repair is more expensive, which means we have to work harder to get grants and to get donations and things like that. So people's contributions of money, things for the restore, or assistance with physical labor, all of those things really help.
So let's talk about communicating again with the public. Phone numbers, website. Tell us how to contact Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity.
Our phone number is 989-753-5200. Our website, you can find it two ways. You can put Saginaw Habitat for Humanity, Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity, but for short, it's SSHFH.org.
Oh, that's easy. And what are the hours for the restore?
So the hours for the restore are Tuesday to Friday, 10 to 5, and on Saturday, 10 to 2.
And lots of good stuff there for a very
It's
reasonable
never the
price.
same store twice.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about it, isn't it?
It is. You discover treasures every day. It's wonderful.
And just so for time frame, when again are you going to be in the Covenant neighborhood, and when are you doing the builds?
So the Covenant neighborhood, we will be there June 14th through the 17th, and also the 21st to the 23rd. If you would like to get your home painted, this is the time to ask for that. So please call us or stop in for an application. Builds will be happening more in the future, but we do have 2 builds now. I should say they're happening more in the future in the Covenant area neighborhood, but we have builds going on right now. So if you'd like to volunteer for a new build or you'd like to volunteer for a rehab right now, that's possible.
All right. Carmen, thank you much for being with us, and let's chat again maybe before those new builds happen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Art. Love having you have us on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it so much.
now.
And you can come down and help us this summer too.
I know that. And I might. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, great. Bye-bye.
Carmen Mora from Habitat for Humanity, the Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity. We'll be back to close out.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail.